All right, soon to be single dads. This is a tough time, but let me give you my 2 cents of advice if you want it. And so I'm a two-time loser. I've this is my gone through my second divorce. It's almost been a year now. But I want to tell you what I've learned and what not to do because I did these things and they just were a wreck. Okay, so you're going through a divorce. You just filed, she just filed, what he just filed, whatever the situation might be. You're going through a divorce with your partner, your ex-spouse, what have you. Do not do these things. Again, I learned from personal experience. I did these things and it caused me a lot of grief. Okay. First thing is don't engage in the back and forth with text messaging and emailing and arguing and calling names. If you are the one that looks bad, you're the one that dropping all the expletives, then that's going to come up. 100% it's going to come up. They're going to keep a record of it. They're going to show it to ultimately a mediator, arbitrator, or judge. And so don't engage in that. Only talk about what's necessary. So if you have children, just talk about the children and what's necessary for, their lives, school, those schedules, finances like that. Don't let it go out of control. It is so easy to get out of control because it's a very emotional time and situation. Again, I did these things. Okay, I'm admitting I was wrong. I should not have done these things. So don't engage in, just back and forth text messaging. Second, don't booze and text. Okay, don't booze and email. All right. You're going to say things you don't mean, or you're going to say things maybe that you don't want to say that are going to be used against you later. Okay, so don't put that phone away, or just don't drink. Okay, if you can't not drink, that's okay. I understand it's a tough situation, and that's maybe where you go to for relief or comfort. But don't booze and text. Don't booze and email. Don't do anything like that. And especially if you're going to text or email. If you write something down, don't send it right away. Look at it. If you have a friend that's with you that you trust, okay, let them look at it and approve the sending of it, okay? Because a lot of times you're going to put stuff in there that you wouldn't necessarily do the next day, okay? And so, yes, right off the cuff, you're ready to send something, that you're mad about, especially if it's a situation where maybe there was infidelity involved and you're still mad, or something else that were, these emotions are out of control. And rightfully so in some circumstances, but don't send an email or text right as soon as you write it. Always read it, and maybe even wait till the next day, because there's many times you might look at it in a new light, and you might go, maybe that's not the best thing to do. Again, I did these things. Okay, I'm admitting I was wrong, so learn from my mistake. Okay. Third thing is don't take big expensive trips, okay? Especially if you're still sharing finances. Don't fly off to Vegas. Don't fly off to Cabo. Don't do these things that they're going to bring up later. Again, this might be your getaway. Maybe they have the kids that weekend. Maybe you're on a temporary parenting plan or whatever. Or if you don't have kids, you're going to do it. But if you haven't separated finances yet, then don't be the one who's out there blowing the money, okay? Because it's going to come back to get you again. Things that I did that I wish I hadn't have done. So I'm telling you right now, if you're going through this first part and you caught this video before you've done any of these things, good for you, okay? This is just good advice. I'm not a family law attorney, but I've been through 2 divorces, so I kind of have a general idea. I think I know where I'm coming from. So don't do that, okay? The third thing is, and you can watch my video on dating, but you may not want to jump into dating someone right away. It's I'd have a whole other video on it, so you can watch it. But that's not going to get you the maybe temporary comfort, but not ultimately the comfort that you might need. I think it's better just to talk to friends and find hobbies and things like that. Okay. And so those are just a few pieces of advice that I would recommend getting into. And don't try to go it alone. I've seen so many times where not only myself but other friends have said, "Oh, it's going to be amicable and we're not going to fight," and then lo and behold, boom, out of nowhere, here comes a motion from some attorney that just got hired. So you want to make sure that you find a good attorney. It's really hard though, because family law is such a weird system, and trust me, I know I know the legal system, but family law is its own little weird situation. And so you want someone who regularly works in that field and is familiar with everything, because if you don't, you're going to get run over. And I'm going to do a whole other video on family law. But those things during divorce, like I said, try to control the booze, watch what you send, what you email, and be careful about jumping into dating, and watch those finances. Don't run out and do those things. Anything you write down and is out there, like video that you put on the internet or social media, that's another thing. Watch out for social media. You going out drinking with your buddies or girlfriends or whatever, and you got your booze or whatever. If you don't think that's going to come back and get you, you got another thing coming. All right. So be careful about those things. Those are just my friendly piece of advice. If you have other things that maybe you're concerned about, comment below, and I'll tell you what I think about them. Again, I've made all the mistakes, so hopefully you're going to gain some insight from me as to what not to do during divorce. Okay, like if you abide by what your attorney says, they're probably going to tell you most of the same things I'm telling you now. But don't do those things. It'll put you in a better situation. Again, you got to watch your mouth. You got to watch your text, email, social media, and your finances. And so make sure that you're keeping all that in check while you're going through this very, very difficult thing. If it's your first time doing this, I know it's hard. It's very hard. And your emotions can get the better of you easily. Okay, so always sit back, take a deep breath before you engage in communication. And certainly don't ever be physical with the other person. If you're trying to actually, and I'm talking about two different ways. So intimacy, if you're still engaging in that with the other person, but it's ultimately going to end in divorce, you got to peel it off like a Band-Aid. You just can't do that anymore. The other is obviously no one should put hands on the other person in a violent way. And so, any of that's just going to cause bad things to happen. Be there for your kids, be involved in picking them up and taking care of them, making sure they're fed and taken care of as far as, that is concerned. Again, I got another video on what to tell the kids when you're going through the divorce. You can take a look at that. But those are just my friendly pieces of advice, things to avoid during divorce. All right, guys, take care.